We'll skip a lot of the preliminaries. We'll just get straight to it. I have been playing the saxophone, the alto saxophone specifically, since 1985. Before that, I played the violin. I did not like playing the violin. Played it for 1 year. I did not enjoy it. When I got to middle school, Morningside Middle School, wanted to join the band because I love music. Because of the music of David Sanborn, I wanted to play the saxophone. So we went down to East Lancaster in Fort Worth to a store that no longer exists. Got my first alto. And I was awful. I was terrible. All the way through middle school. But it kept me out of PE. So I was fine with it. Got to OD Wide in 1988. James Hamilton was my band director. And he had a very unique way of motivating people. That man once told me, I wish I could put you in another room with a window so I could see you and not hear you. For some, that probably sounds away, but when I heard that, it inspired me to work harder, to try to get better. 1989, Dwayne ends up at Wyatt, and he's a very important part of the story because he shows up and we just decide that we're going to take over. We're going to try to do some pretty incredible things in marching band, in concert band, in stage band. And we did. 1991, we got some cheap soprano saxes from another store that no longer exists on East Lancaster in Fort Worth. Boy, these were cheap. They were just awful. But we got them because Ham had told us that he wanted us to learn the entire Kenny G Live CD that had just come out. Might have been a tape. Either way, he wanted us to learn all the hits from that show. And to do that, we needed sopranos. And we raced to get soprano saxes. And we raced to get crappy soprano saxes. But we did what we could with them. Graduation 1992. And I get to play the solo at graduation. I'm going to be honest, I don't fully think I deserved it. I just think Ham chose me. I did everything in my power to be as good as I could be at it, but there were better musicians in the band at the time. There were better musicians who weren't in the band at the time. But for some reason, he chose me. Graduate from Wyatt, go to Virginia, spend 6 years in Hampton, being a part of the marching force, being a part of Saxomatic, being a marching pirate. initially hating every other section in the band, and then by the time I left, loving every other section in the band, appreciating every other section in the band. One of the keys to my time at Hampton was the idea of playing without a neck strap, because when we would do our dance routine, and we did dance routines every week, we didn't put our horns down. We danced with our horns back then. And so that meant there were times when we had to play without a neck strap. Somewhere in there, I got a new alto. Somewhere in there, I got a new soprano. Graduated from Hampton in '98. I guess I should back up a little bit. Before I graduated from high school, I started playing in churches. I didn't necessarily want to be big. At first, I did want to be known. And then I decided I just wanted to be effective. The hope is that when people look at my time in church as a musician, that people will fall on the side of, you know what, he was effective. I still do play at churches, and the heart still desires to be effective. But I need to get back to what happens after I leave Hampton. Leave Hampton, spend some time in Philly, less than a year in Philly. Move back home to Fort Worth. Start playing again. Join Dwayne's band. Get back to playing in churches. Start stepping out on my own. Start recording. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of spectacular things with some wonderful musicians. Never really saw myself much as a performer. I believe I'm a songwriter who can perform. I really like writing music. And if I can be honest, I like writing music more than I enjoy performing. But I do enjoy performing. And over the past couple of years, I've had some pretty steady gigs. I've had a lot of friends come out and support. Made a lot of new friends. I think it would be unfair for me to neglect to mention Damon Callahan. He's also been a major player in this musical story. Very supportive. I can't even put into words how supportive he's been. One of the few people who can offer critiques of what I do, and I will listen. Not because I think I'm awesome, but because he knows what I know. He knows what I can do. And when he's critiquing me, he's offering that criticism from a position of, hey, right now you're here, but I know you can be here. Been very supportive. for decades. To all the people who I have performed with, people who I have asked to be a part of my group, and people who have allowed me to be a part of their group. Very grateful. But we find ourselves in a position where some things have to change. And I've been fighting this for years. I've had this feeling for a few years, but I've been fighting it. But lately, some things have happened to make it very clear. I've had some decisions that I have to make. And after all these years, it seems like whether I like it or not, I really got to play with the neck strap. When I'm playing my alto, I need to use the neck strap. I'm not such a young thing anymore, and this shoulder's been rebuilt twice. And as much as I enjoy playing without the neck strap, and the fact that it allows me to be kind of expressive, I can't deny that the age is a factor.